Last time Raj was on the podcast, he said, I'm Patralekha's husband. This is Rajkumar's girlfriend. Did you ever feel that kind of a stereotyping?
I used to feel pretty offended. I fought with those demons a lot. It really did trouble me. Also, Raj is a true feminist. While we were sitting at the wedding mandap, he put sindoor on me. He's like, "Mujhe bhi lagao." For 1 second, I went numb. And then he's like, "Haan, lagao." And I was like, my God, I really lucked out.
You've come from Shillong. You've had 10 years in the industry.
Once I started getting ads is when a couple of casting directors started calling me. But I was like, I'm not good at this.
The trajectory is very difficult to get to the big screen. What was that journey like and how did it happen?
Karishma, that moment when I was auditioning, I knew I got it. Then I got Citylights and then I got a lot of love for that movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, my career didn't take off. Actually, my struggle started then.
How was the industry to you in these years that you were not receiving work?
I didn't even have friends from the industry back then.
Right.
You know, the only two people that I knew was Raj and Hansal sir. There were years where I just shot for like 6-7 days. There was only that kind of money that I earned.
This episode obviously will not be complete if we don't talk about how you guys met, how you guys fell in love. Tell me about that story.
Everybody was doing this either to become richer, to become more famous, to have those many cars. But here was this guy who was just doing it for the love of his art. I want to grow my family, but I don't know when. I'm not pregnant for sure, which they keep telling me every day. Because I said I wanted to meet him, he took a flight for 3 hours. He came for half an hour. He met me and he left because the next day he had to show up. It was such a rarity and I just couldn't stop falling in love with him.
Hi Patralekha, and
Karishma.
huge congratulations. Been hearing amazing things about IC814 and everybody has really appreciated you specifically. So big congratulations and I'm happy that I can talk to you on the cusp of that success.
Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm very excited to be here because I've been following your journey, Humans of Bombay's journey since a very long time. And I think we had shot for it.
Yeah.
And I had written a letter on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to be here.
You walked into the office and yours and Raj's picture is one of the first few that you see as soon as you enter. It was one of our most iconic love stories on our page, which we will get to later. Yes. I want to start with you. So you've come from Shillong. And you've had 10 years in the industry and, played various roles within the industry. Talk to me a little bit about the journey, right? From Shillong to Bombay. What was happening in your life in the early years?
So I come from a middle-class Bengali family, and during the partition, my great-grandparents walked down to Shillong from Bangladesh because the distance was less, and that's how we settled in Shillong. And then I was born there. And I was in Shillong till I was 10, 11 years old. And my parents sent me off to a boarding school.
So we have that in common.
Yeah, we do. I went to Assam Valley first. I was there till 10th. Then I went to Bishop Cotton Girls' School. I did my 12th from there. But I just feel like that kind of set a tone to my life now that I look back. Because what happens, you would know this, that you become fiercely independent.
Extremely.
You've got to look out for yourself. And I think that's what has helped me in my journey. I'll come back to my 10 years later. And then, I don't know, for some weird reason, my parents got a house in Mumbai. So I went and enrolled myself in NM college. I did a business management course from there. And in the meantime, I started auditioning. I started getting ads. And that's been my journey with education in Mumbai. Once I started getting ads is when a couple of casting directors started calling me. Atul Mongia back then. There was Mukesh Habra. I auditioned, but I was like, I'm not good at this. I don't know. Something's not working. Doing an ad audition is completely doing a scene for a movie. So then I started going for these workshops. I went to Barry John. And in that process, I met Raj. And I was so blown away by the sheer passion he had for his work. when I would go for auditions, I used to meet so many people. I loved going for auditions, by the way. And I was hustling through life. And then eventually I got Citylights, and where I got a lot of love.
The trajectory is very difficult to get to the big screen. What was that journey like, and how did it happen?
So I was doing a Bengali film, and I got to know that, the makers, I'm looking for a girl. And how would I know that? Because my friend Vinod Rawat, who eventually was in the movie, he was casting for it. And he had told me, come and audition. And my audition went pretty well, but the director went ahead with some other girl. Then the director had to leave the movie for whatever reason, so the actress also left. Then Hansal sir came on board, and then he started re-auditioning. And I knew Hansal sir. And Karishma, I'm the sort of a person that I will go get it.
Yeah.
Because I know that I've never got things on a platter. So I need to go get it. So I kept calling him. He was like, okay, come give the audition. I'll come back to the story again. And I just prepped for it so hard. And I gave it all. And Karishma, that moment when I was auditioning, I knew I got it. I knew it because there was something in me. I was like, I nailed that audition.
Like your gut also tells you.
Your gut also tells you. Because it just went on so...
It fit, like it all worked out.
Yeah, correct. Then I got Citylights, and then I got a lot of love for that movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, my career didn't take off. Actually, my struggle started then.
Yeah.
Because once you're semi-known, it's far more difficult to get work.
Yeah.
It's far more difficult to go out there and audition.
Correct.
Because then you're boxed. They see you a certain way. So I think the journey became much lonelier after doing the film. Before that, I told you, I was going out there, auditioning, meeting people.
But now you've established yourself in this one movie. Yeah. How did you deal with the fact that, say, you weren't getting offers immediately, even though it was a fantastic film, and critically acclaimed, and you were a central part. So how did you navigate that?
I have no idea, and I don't know what could have gone better or what could have gone worse, because look, I didn't even have friends from the industry back then.
Right.
The only two people that I knew was Raj and Hansal sir, and then Bhatt Saab. So when I didn't get a movie for that many months, and also I had a 3-film deal with Bhatt Saab, so he offered me a film. That didn't do well at all, and it got me a lot of flack, and I think that put me completely off track. And then it became really an uphill task. But I was very determined, Like I told you, for me, it is like, I need to go get it.
Yeah.
But the next 5-6 years were very, very difficult for me. And then the pandemic hit, OTT was booming. And I approached the creators that I wanted to work with, be it Raj and Patralekhaa, be it Anubhav sir, So I feel like the last 4 years have been happy, comfortable space. The work that I want to do is coming my way.
So when you were in this journey, right, of, say, the work not being there, or like another film that tanked, for example, and you received flack, how is it that you maneuver the industry? Because there's so much conversation around it that it's anyways difficult. Did you feel like ever being like, what, this may not be for me. I do have a degree. Maybe I should reconsider. And I'm asking because doubt is something we all live with.
Yeah. And hope is also something we all live with.
It's two sides of the same coin, right?
Yeah. Where did I win in this situation? Were my parents and Raj. There were days that I went, it is not a sob story. It is a story where your family actually helps you, maneuver through those difficult, not such good days, There were days, there were years where I just shot for like 6-7 days, and there was only that kind of money that I earned. That's not sufficient even enough to like survive here.
Expensive
city. Then going back to my parents already had a house, so my living was sorted, you know, and my parents just helped me financially also, So I just feel like parents being there.
But it's so refreshing that you admit that, you know, because...
But it is the truth of my life. And I just feel like girls coming from outside the city, they need their parents' support the most.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like the rent, everything, right? To make rent is difficult. Let's talk about Raj's role in this entire thing. Also because it's the same industry. And his career is obviously thriving and from the get-go, right?
From day one.
And we both this can become a Rajkummar Rao fan club table very quickly because we both really appreciate his work. But we won't go there. But let's talk about how your journey with him progressed through this time.
He understood what I was going through. And Raj is very sharp. He understood, but he was just there by me, you know, which is again such a big thing. He stood by me, and I think that was enough for me to just navigate through the days.
And what was it like? What has it been like acting with him? That's really cool, right?
Like, no, he's such a phenomenal actor. The thing is, वो तो अपना काम अच्छे से करेगा ही. That's for sure. But if he sees his co-actor is not getting it or not getting it right, he's going to come and he's going to say, listen, I feel like you could approach the scene this way. I haven't seen many actors do that, you know.
To care for the co-star as much.
Co-star and plus be a giver, because we, in this industry, I suppose we are so conscious about just ourselves and trying to do things for ourselves that we forget. Like a scene is not only about a singular person, it's about everything coming together.
Right, Talk to me about the industry. Talk to me about opportunities. Talk to me about lost opportunities. There's so much chatter, and rightly so, right? Because Bollywood, there's fame, there's so much power, there's success, there's typically, considering largely good-looking people, that the country is really like obsessed over.
And rightfully so.
How was the industry to you in these years that you were not receiving work? Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Do let us know what you think down in the comments. We always read what you have to say. And on that note, I want to fill you in on something really exciting that we're building at Humans of Bombay. So you guys know, we've mastered the art of storytelling for the past 10 years. And you have trusted us to tell your story. So now it's time for us to empower you. So me, along with 5 other experts, have curated a course for just that, where you learn how to tell your story in different settings. So it's called How to Tell Your Story, and the course is live now. You can check it down below in the link or even on the pop-up here. And with that, let's get back to the podcast. How was the industry to you in these years that you were not receiving work? Did you feel somewhere that there were opportunities that you weren't getting, or that you were being stereotyped into certain roles? What was that process like?
I feel like I was boxed, obviously. And I feel like they didn't know where to place me, you know. And then the OTT boom came, and these are the same people that were like, hey, we have this, would you like to do this? So it's casting for a part has many layers to it.
Right, also about female-led roles, right? And the true essence of being a female actor, like an actress. There were times when the roles were extremely limited. Now we're at a stage where there are scripts being written with the female narrative as a central narrative. How was your experience being a woman in the industry?
Sure, I've done parts which are just like blink and miss. But also, she was supposed to be the lead part in the film. Not blink and miss, but couple of scenes. But I feel like, again, there is consumption for female-driven films. Maybe it's sporadic, but be it Queen or be it Tanu Weds Manu, etc. There are, but not many people are writing that stuff for cinemas, at least I feel. But again, the OTT is changing that notion.
It's been a huge leveler. We have this conversation in almost every podcast. Talk to me about how has your audition process been, right? Like, there's so much conversation around, say, nepotism, or the fact that, there are certain opportunities that are reserved for people who can pick up the phone and next of kin. And like I was chatting earlier with our guest who you met on the way out, he was like, but it happens everywhere. Yeah. If you run a business, you want your kid to take over that business. Just again, like we said in Bollywood, it's just so much more out there because it's so public facing.
So public,
Have you ever felt that?
That nepotism is a thing?
Or that, that certain opportunities didn't come to you but went to somebody else because of the connections?
See, I never went down that road. But nepotism is a thing. Even in my family, my dad wanted me to become a CA. Yeah. I remember he clearly had told me, listen, I have such a good client base. You're just going to get all that if you become a CA.
It'll be a lot easier. You'll get there a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll skip steps effectively.
Many. Sure, it is a thing and it does happen here as well. But listen, time is of essence.
Yeah.
There's no point of thinking that, this, that. You're just wasting your time. It's better you go get to work.
Yeah. Let's talk about friendships in Bollywood. Yeah. We met last at Huma Qureshi's book launch. Yeah. You share a close friendship with her. There's Farah Khan. Yeah. Any fun anecdotes, any memories that you have with them?
So with Huma, I had known her since my audition days. And she was this girl that had just broken into this big filmy world with
gangs of
Wasipur. And
God.
I still remember her with her purple outfit at the hoardings. And I was that's inspiring. She's made it. There will be a possibility of me making it. So that girl inspired me. And I've told this to Huma. She knows this. And Kato... But we were never in the same friend circle. We had a common friend. But it took us 6-7 years to literally, have a friendship, have a bond, I think that's who I am. It takes time.
Yeah.
But when we are friends, if you're my friend, it'll mean the world to me.
Yeah.
That's who Huma is for me. That's who Farah is for me. I've known Farah ma'am since such a long time.
Yeah.
And
last time Raj was on the podcast, he said, I'm Patralekha's husband. That's my identity. And he's very sweet about it. And visibly so, right? Like you genuinely feel it in his communication, all of that. Have you ever felt that in these past few years, right, 4 years have been amazing, but there was a period where it just wasn't moving, that somewhere it was becoming like, this is Rajkummar's girlfriend. Did you ever feel that kind of a stereotyping? Because it's so easy to make that association, right?
For sure. That was another challenge that I had to fight. Now I'm Rajkummar's wife.
Yeah.
But I'm always pushing the boundary. It's the tax that you are giving me.
Yeah.
It is between me and Raj. It's not about... I used to feel pretty offended because here I'm a human being. I am somebody's daughter. I'm just not only somebody's girlfriend. So I fought with those demons a lot. It really did trouble me.
Yeah.
Because at some point I'd just become his girlfriend. How did I navigate through it is, I was like, these tags are not going to make the person that I am. The people are just not going to know me just because I'm his wife and also, or his girlfriend. also I'm more than that, and I'm sure even he's going to be happy if I make something out of myself, just rather than just being his wife or girlfriend. And also Raj is a true feminist, you know. I know I shouldn't be just throwing these terms, but he really believes in equality. Like while we were sitting at the wedding mandap, I don't know if you have seen the video.
I've seen
but
it.
I was so surprised, Karishma, when he put sandoor on me. And ek to wo lag bhi nahi raha
in the complication of the bridal attire.
Yeah. And then he's like, mujhe bhi lagao. For 1 second I went numb. And then he's like, haan, lagao. And I was like, my God, I really lucked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lucked out also. You're both lucked out.
We both lucked out. We both did.
Yeah. This episode obviously will not be complete if we don't talk about how you guys met, how you guys fell in love. Tell me about that story.
Okay. It's out there. I had just seen LSD, his first movie. And I had, after 2-3 days, a school friend of mine calls me up who was studying at FTII. And she was like, listen, could you come and do this video for me? It's a music video, and I'm calling this other actor called Rajkummar. He was just in LSD. And I was like, Shana, no, I'm not coming because I think he's very, very creepy and I'm scared. And then she was like, no, nothing is going to happen. We are going to send you a car. Why don't you get Parna along? Parna is my sister. And I was like, okay, let's see. So I went to Parna and I was like, listen, Rukshana is telling. And we all went to school, the same school together. So Parna was like, okay, let's go then. So I made Parna sit between me and Raj, and they started chit-chatting. And I was like, feeling all weird because he's that creepy guy from that movie. And I was pinching
Well, you played it convincingly enough that you were creeped out in real life also.
So I was pinching her. I was like, do not talk to him. And then eventually it was just a bit awkward because the ride was also long from Mumbai to Pune. So he was like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, I've done these couple of ads. I've done this Tata Docomo ad. And the moment I said that, I saw there was some shift. And as the story goes, he had seen that particular ad and he was like, I want to marry this girl.
Yeah.
And when I reached FTI and we started shooting for the video, we were there for 3 days. He was just a different human being, a human being who loved his art so much, who was so passionate about his work. It was such a rarity, and I just couldn't stop falling in love with him. I was like, oh my God, this man is all about his work and his passion. And there's so much integrity and depth to him. Most of us, at least back then when I was doing the audition rounds, everybody was doing this either to become richer, to become more famous, to have those many cars. But here was this guy who was just doing it for the love of his art.
Yeah. And you can really see it. I mean,
you can see it.
You can't put that on at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be of that caliber.
Yeah.
How did your relationship evolve, right? Because he wanted to marry you off the bat, but you all dated. You're also in a live-in relationship, and now you all are married. So, seen the full throttle and the full spectrum of what love can offer. How has your love evolved?
We have become very comfortable with each other's silences. Also, it's a good space to be at because we both are actors. We barely get the time to spend
time together.
Yeah. So whenever we do, we have the best time of our lives. We love traveling. We love going to new places. We love exploring. We love food. We love watching cinema, movies, series. And that's how we really share a great bond. Also, we rarely fight.
Wow.
Yeah, touch wood.
Touch wood.
We rarely do.
Really?
Yeah, but also maybe it's been so many years and we have literally grown up together.
Yeah. And I mean, been through the entire journey. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to kind of tie you in a way that's this.
Yeah.
So cute. So we'll, everybody has constructed these questions because they love your love story. So it's called Two of a Kind. So we'll ask you a few questions about Cute things.
Sure.
Yeah. What's something sweet that Rajkummar does regularly that makes your day?
What he does regularly is he'll give me these. He surprises me, you know. If today, like he's shooting in Lucknow, he'll come without telling me, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" I have to share this story. He was shooting for Bareli Ki Barfi in, again,
Another
Lucknow.
movie I love.
Another movie. Look at his range.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
Unreal. Yeah.
He was shooting in Lucknow. I was in Shillong, my hometown. So I was like, listen, I want to meet you. It's Diwali. What is this? And he had a day off, but whatever. So because I said I wanted to meet him, he took a flight from Lucknow to Delhi, Delhi to Guwahati, Guwahati to Shillong for 3 hours. The drive is for 3 hours. He came for half an hour. He met me and he left because the next day he had to show up.
Wow. That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Yeah. That's who Raj is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great
really
human
special.
being. Yeah.
What are some bucket list items you two want to tick off together?
Oh, we want to do the whole cruise thing in Antarctica.
Wow.
We want to go to Japan during
Cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom. Yeah, that's at the top of my mind right now.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory? Is this the favorite memory? The story? That would be your favorite memory. What's your favorite way to make him feel special?
Listen, whatever I do, it's just not going to match up to his. I'm just going to share another story with you. We were in London during, and there was the Pride March going on. And, well, actually the story starts somewhere else. He had gone to London. He had bought me this bag, which I loved. It was a surprise. That's how much money he had in his account, and he blew up everything and got me that bag. And it meant the world to me because there was so much emotions to it. Cut to after 2 years, I was in London at the gay parade, at the Pride March, the Pride March. And then I went to the shop, and somehow, my fault, I took out my bag. I was not really aware that the situation in London back then was, it's worse now, but back then also it was so bad. So somebody just within like a second, my bag was split second. So that person must have been following me since a couple of hours. Yeah. It was gone. I had a panic attack because also that it meant so much to me. It was just not like a materialistic thing. Yeah, it was just not a materialistic thing. It had my passport, my phone, my debit card, just gone. I was like really sad, and I was the next morning, I cried the whole night. And also nobody helps there, you know. They're like, if it's lost,
I mean,
it's just,
if you're mugged, you're mugged.
Yeah, you're mugged. Yeah. Nobody can do anything.
And nobody's going to sit and track this bag.
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole, I cried myself to sleep. And then the next morning I went to Starbucks. He's like, I have to go to the embassy. I'll have to get, he needed to get something. I'll come back. So he met me back at Starbucks, and I went back to the room. Karishma, there was a bag waiting for me there.
How sweet.
Again, it's not about the bag.
It isn't.
It's just the emotion.
Yeah, the thought.
And how this man is so full of love.
Yeah.
You know?
And so thoughtful.
So thoughtful.
Yeah. That is special.
Yeah. He is a special man.
One thing you love and one thing you tolerate about Raj. Love, though, we've got everything.
Everything. Yeah. One thing I tolerate, he's a cleanliness freak.
Wow.
And I'm that sort that I will keep my trousers here, my towel there.
Yeah.
And because, come on, I don't want him to be upset about this. He doesn't get upset. He's like, Arey. So I'm like, okay, chal. So I have become super tidy.
Okay.
So that's good. I tolerate that about him.
But it's helped.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. Now I've become a little OCD about tidiness.
More organized.
Yeah, organized.
Yeah. And now both have so much to celebrate.
Yeah,
Raj is celebrating 3.
Yeah.
You are celebrating this success with IC814. Talk to me about that, right? What does this mean to you? The reviews are phenomenal. Yeah. You're looking really good, and it's a happy time for you guys. So
it is.
Talk to me about this.
It's still not sunk in. That boy who I met 10 years back has a 500. He's sitting on a 500.
600 now. I saw something.
I guess now it's
I just keep seeing updates.
But he's still shooting in Lucknow, trying to make his ends meet, because that's all he knows. That's all he can do. He loves being on a set. He just loves working. So when I meet him, which is this evening, we are going to celebrate. It's a good time, Karishma, also because he's happy for me. Yeah.
No, you've worked really hard. Like you've come to the point where you're being recognized for being a good actor.
Yeah.
And that has to mean so much.
So much to me and to him. So it's a good time.
Yeah. So how are you going to celebrate?
We're going to eat some good food. Food is the love language most of the time.
It connects you when you're able to do that.
Yeah.
You have an interesting upcoming project also. Talk to me about that.
Listen, that's what I've been playing such different characters.
Yeah.
That's been very enriching for me as a woman.
Yeah.
I'm sure you haven't watched it, but there's a film that released 2 months back. It's called Wild Wild Punjab on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a fun film. I'm playing this girl from the Pind. Her trajectory in life is different than an Indrani in I See It 1-4, who's grappling with many layers. Her father is unwell. She's in a hostage situation. Yet she has to look after her people in the plane. Then I'm playing, of course you would know because you're a Mumbai girl, I'm playing Savitri Bai Phule in a film. That's been a different journey altogether, Then I'm playing this, okay, I can't talk much about it. I'm very excited.
I love those.
Yeah. It's a series on Amazon. It's produced by Raj and Patralekhaa, and Rahi, who made Tumbad, has directed it. I've got some phenomenal co-actors, Kunal Khemo and Pankaj Tripathi, who are just too much fun. And I just can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah. It sounds so exciting, and you sound like you're in a great place. We'll touch wood.
Like I said.
Yeah, we will touch wood, and it's all really happy. So I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, Karishma.
I just want to know, what is the next 5 years looking like for you? I mean, we've spoken about now, but holistically, right? What is life looking like?
I think a lot more work. Personal life, I want to grow. I want to grow my family, but I don't know when. I'm not pregnant for sure, which they keep telling me every day.
Really? Why?
I don't know, for whatever reason. Yeah. But of course, I'm seeing the next 5 years as a wholesome, professionally and personally.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Any last pieces of advice for people watching and who've gotten a glimpse of Patralekha on your first ever podcast, which I'm so thrilled to be conducting? Any last words of advice?
I'm so excited to be here, Karishma. I wanted to be here, honestly, and I wanted to chat with you because I've seen your podcasts and they're always very comforting. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we'll do one more and one
more.
With
Raj.
We'll do one more with Raj.
We have to.
Then we'll crowdsource all these various questions that everybody has about your love story. I don't know what it is about two of you that everybody's just like, they're so in love. But it's true, and you can see it.
That is true.
Yeah, and may you continue to be like that forever.
Thank you, Karishma.
Thank you so much for doing this. It was so lovely.
It's my pleasure.
And I'm cheering for you and all the lots of success that's to come.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being the best community, and we'll see you in the next one.